Hello, welcome to Wellness Shots with Jewel. Today, my guest is Meredith Marin. I met Meredith a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago, in Aruba, where I have a place for retreats, and she is been doing a lot of whole food plant-based work in Aruba, and I really would like her to share it with us and with you. Welcome, Meredith. It's so nice to have you on the
Thank
show.
you. I'm happy to be here and to meet your community.
Well, please tell our viewers how did you start on this journey, like your personal story?
Sure. Well, my personal story is pretty long. I was actually sort of plant-based for about 12 years before I made a full commitment. So I'll give a brief recap. When I was 18 years old and in my first year of college, I had an awakening. It was more of a spiritual awakening, not so much a health awakening. I had an experience where a friend of mine was watching somebody walk on the subway tracks in New York City, and the man got hit by the subway and ended up going to the hospital. My friend visited him in the hospital and found out that this man passed away. So he started a fundraiser to help this man's family, and I started raising money for him as well. I made about $30, which was nothing, and I asked myself, how can I appreciate life more? What can I do to make a real change in the world, because this $30 isn't going to cut it? And I made this connection between the food on my plate and the animals and the ecosystem that surrounds that. So that's when I went vegetarian overnight. And throughout my journey, I learned more about nutrition. I actually gained a lot of weight as a vegetarian. And that's when I started researching veganism and whole foods plant-based diet and started going in that direction, and eventually made a full commitment about 4 years ago to become 100% vegan and not consume any animal products. And that's when my health turned around. I lost a bunch of weight and started feeling my best.
Well, you look beautiful, I must say. Your hair,
Thanks.
your skin, your face, it's like so vibrant, and
Aw.
you're just beautiful. And I was so impressed by the work you did in Aruba. You used to live in Aruba. I know you moved to Florida now. So could you please share how did that start and what did you do?
I would love to. So my professional background is as a social worker. I have a master's in social work and some background in nutrition. And when I moved to Aruba with my family about 3.5 years ago, my husband's from Aruba, so that's what brought us there. It's a beautiful Caribbean island, if you're not familiar. We went there, and as vegans, could not find what to eat, especially when we went to restaurants. Nobody knew what veganism was. It was barely even vegetarian friendly. So we would go out to eat, and I would get the same pasta primavera at every restaurant I went to. All they wanted to serve me was pasta or some basic grilled vegetables with no seasoning on it. So that got old pretty quickly, as I'm sure you can imagine. And I realized that if I wanted something different, I had to do something about it. So throughout this journey, the first few months of living in this new place, I started to build relationships with chefs, with restaurant owners, and I started to really connect with the people that were serving me the food and educate them. So I would have to call a chef in advance and say, hey, can you make me something different this time? Can you maybe go to the store and try some tofu? And they'd be like, okay, but how do I cook that? Because I don't like tofu. So I would essentially unofficially consult for them and explain to them how to cook plant-based meals. So after a while of doing this, I got an invitation to be a guest speaker at the National Restaurant Association, where I presented what it's like for the vegan customer or the alternative customer, the customer with dietary requests, with allergies, with preferences, and suggested that restaurants start more transparency with their food, that they label their menus, that they create better options that are more plant-based for people that don't want to eat the traditional what's being offered. And the restaurants, to my surprise, said to me at the end of my presentation, great, you've convinced us. Now what? How do we do this? We don't know how to do this. And I knew that that was an issue for them, because I was essentially, calling these restaurants before I had to go eat there. So one restaurant owner said to me, can you help us? And I said, who, me? I'm not a chef. I don't have any professional culinary training. And he said, well, it looks like you know how to cook. I've seen your Instagram. I've seen your food photos. Can you help us? So I said, okay. That was the first time I really took an opportunity before I felt ready, because I just knew that I was called to do it. And I thought, if no one else does this, who will? If not, if not me, then who? And how is this change going to happen? So I showed up at this restaurant. It was a Cuban restaurant, and I looked through their menu. I researched a bit about Cuban food, and I made some suggestions to the owner. I said, okay, instead of ribs, let's do portobello ribs, and put your barbecue sauce on the portobello mushrooms and put them on a skewer. Anyway, long story short, a couple of weeks later, they launched one of the first vegan menus in Aruba. There was a line out the door of people waiting to try it. And then I started getting calls from other restaurants asking if I would work with them. So a week later, I went to the Chamber of Commerce. I set up my vegan hospitality consulting business. And I did that for about 2 years until I started building a larger Instagram following and having people from all over the world, vegans from all over the world, starting to ask me questions like, how can I do this in my hometown? Can you come to my city and create vegan options here? So that's when I started a training program to help other vegans or other people who are interested in the plant-based diet and want to spread that information in their community. How do they start their own consulting businesses and work in their communities? And now it's been almost a year of doing that, of doing these trainings. I've trained nearly 50 people in about 20 different countries and different US states. And it's been this incredible journey of starting this business. And we're just in the very beginning phases of pioneering this new field of people that are going to transform the hospitality system.
This is incredible and so inspiring. The impact that we can make just by asking and sharing. So
Absolutely.
how many restaurants did you enroll into serving vegan food in Aruba?
So I did a full service program with about 15 restaurants and hotels, meaning that I did menu development for them. I trained their chefs on site. I trained their service staff. So all the people serving the food, including the hosts and the managers, understand the vegan customer perspective and allergy protocols. I did marketing for them, really the whole spectrum of what it takes to become what I call a vegan friendly restaurant. But overall in Aruba, I worked with over 100 businesses, whether it was speaking engagements at the National Bank or through the government departments or for private groups, or whether it was consulting on smaller projects for cafes. So I really transformed, in a sense, the food scene there to the point where now Aruba was recognized recently as the #1 most vegan-friendly island in the Caribbean by Happy Cow. And we had a vegan influencers retreat there where high-level vegan influencers came and did YouTube videos on their experience in Aruba. So it's really become this vegan oasis, and it's just getting better. I left there a couple of months ago, right before this pandemic hit, to come visit family in Florida. And now we're sort of unofficially living in Florida, trying to figure out our way. And when I left, I thought, okay, well, now what's going to happen? Now Aruba is going to do it on their own. And a couple of new vegan vendors and startups have happened just in the past couple of months without me there through this pandemic. And the restaurants I've worked with have all kept their vegan menus and also added new vegan options.
Incredible. And I can't wait to go back to Aruba and explore all the veganism, what's happening there with the food. So want to ask you if you can recommend, give us examples of which restaurant, especially since I am planning to have a retreat there. What would be the good restaurants to go to and which food to order?
Yes. Okay. So for anyone going to Aruba, first of all, you can check out veganaruba.com. This is my website where I have a whole directory of restaurants. You can also go on Instagram or Facebook to the Vegan Aruba page, and you can find actual pictures so you can see what these dishes look like. I recommend, of course, anything on that site, but the top tier restaurants you'll see on the page are the ones that I've worked with most closely, and those are the ones with fully vegan menus. And that means that their service staff has been trained, their chefs in the kitchen are not just cooking plant-based food, but they really understand the lifestyle, and they're really excited to promote it to their guests. So those are some restaurants, for example, Fishes and More, which is a seafood place. One of the first restaurants I worked with has a fully vegan seafood menu, which is really exciting. Papillon, which is a French Caribbean restaurant, has a fully vegan menu. There's, if you're looking for a hotel to stay at, I recommend Bukuti or Manchego, which are both two boutique wellness hotels on Eagle Beach. And I've worked with both of them, and they both have full vegan menus and are just, their whole staff is really excited about wellness and plant-based cuisine.
Incredible. That's the one word that keep coming up to me. Incredible, incredible, amazing. Uh, and you were not even a chef when you started this. So what does it take for a person to become like you, to become a consultant?
To be honest, it's less of the technical skills and more of the inner work. And what I mean by that is this takes a person who has the confidence to believe that they can help others and that what they have to say matters to the world. So in order to start something new and something that's really pioneering, where you don't necessarily have all the support in the world, you need to believe in yourself. And the people that join my program are at the brink of that. So they believe that they matter to the world. They believe they can make a difference, but they don't necessarily know how. And they want those skills and techniques in order to do what they need to do in their community to make it vegan friendly. So some of the things they learn in the program are more of the technical skills, like how to do a menu evaluation for a restaurant, how to actually get into a kitchen and train the staff, how to do restaurant recipe development, how to plan an event around a menu launch. So they learn the technical stuff. They also learn entrepreneurial skills like how to legally set up a business, how to write your bio. So things that they need as an entrepreneur. And then finally, and I think this is actually the most important part, they learn mindfulness skills so that they can start responding rather than reacting and be really mindful about the way that they interact with people around this topic. Because we all know that plant-based eating, veganism, it can be a bit of a hot topic. And the last thing we want to do is go to a restaurant and start debating with them or yelling at them for serving fried food. We want to go there and say, hey, I see so much potential in what you're offering. And I know that you're having trouble serving the more plant-focused guest, and I'd like to help you with that. So it's about approaching restaurants to solve a problem rather than trying to convince or persuade them to do something. It's to help them come into the future, because I truly believe, and everyone who joins my program believes, that the future of hospitality is plant-based. And that's what we're working to help facilitate. We know it's going to happen, but we want to make it happen quicker and more efficiently so that people nowadays, we don't have to wait 20 to 30 years to have plant-based hotels and plant-based menus. We want that to happen sooner.
Beautiful. So what do you see yourself doing in the next year? You're now in Florida. Are you doing the same thing in Florida now?
So I'm not working specifically with restaurants now, and that's a mixture of because of the pandemic, but it's also because my direction has shifted in the sense that I have the vegan hospitality company, and my goal really is to continue to train people all over the world who want to make their communities vegan friendly. So I'm starting a new program that's going to launch in a couple of months. That's all of it's like a lot of the mindset stuff that I'm working on in vegan hospitality training, but for people that don't necessarily want to go the hospitality route. So the new program is going to be around feeling empowered in your vegan or plant-based lifestyle and finding the confidence and clarity to know who you are and who you want to be, and the clarity to know where you're going. And so that's going to be for potentially new entrepreneurs who want those entrepreneurship skills, for people that are just feeling a little bit unsettled in their lives and want to have a new direction and need that community support, the coaching support to be able to figure out what that direction is. So I've noticed because of working with these 50 vegans over the past year, that, like I mentioned, the most important thing for them has been the confidence building. And it's really hard to launch anything new, to change the world, to create a new project without that confidence to believe in yourself. So I'm creating a new program that's going to focus purely on that, on the personal development stuff, as well as also running this vegan hospitality training. But I'm now introducing some new programs to the mix.
Wonderful. So from all those 50 people, can you share some success stories? When they came to you, what did they get from your program, and where are they now?
Great. So again, this has been a very interesting journey. Things happen so quickly. So it hasn't even been a year since I launched the first round of this program. First round started last September. So the people that have graduated have only been essentially certified for a couple of months now. And they've had such huge successes in different ways, in ways I could never have even imagined. So I'll tell you about one person, Begonia. She was in a tiny town in Argentina. And of course, if you know Argentina, it's heavily meat focused. People had no idea what veganism was. And she walks down the street and people stop her and say, hey, you're that vegan woman. Can you help me out? I mean, she's like a vegan celebrity in this little community. And she has restaurants calling her and saying, hey, can you help us? We want to serve a vegan dessert for this customer. We don't know what to do. Can you give us a recipe? She's hosting vegan dinner parties. She gave a workshop at the local library. So she's doing amazing things. I love that story because she thought it was impossible. Like, she was in this place where she felt like no one's going to be receptive to me, but she went for it anyway. And she's being proved wrong in the sense that it's really happening there. I have other consultants that are in more, I guess, like their places were already kind of vegan friendly. So restaurants were more receptive right off the bat. So like, I had one student in my last round of my program that on week 6 of the program, she already got her first client. And that was an Italian restaurant that wanted to work with her, that found her through Instagram, because I teach also social media optimization, found her through her new Instagram on her second post. The second time she posted something, they said, great, I want to work with you. And she started working on their menu during the program. She also got invited to speak on a panel at a local university. She got invited to be on the local news station. I've had several consultant graduates that have been on the news, whether it's being featured in a magazine, being on the radio, being on TV. And really, they're all going their own routes to try to bring veganism and plant-based eating to the forefront of their community's attention, so that people, of course, they want to raise the demand for eating this kind of way in their community so that there's more customers. And they also want to raise the supply and the availability of this food so that veganism can be both accessible and acceptable in their communities.
This is incredible. Again, incredible. So exciting, all this happening around you in just a year. So what would you think? First of all, how can people find you if someone really wants to go for it and bring it to their community, to their town, to their country, to the islands? Where can they find you?
The best way to reach out to me is on Instagram at Meredith Marin. So you can maybe type it out. It's just my name. And that's an easy way to connect with me and also see my content, because I'm posting videos and information. And that way you can also see the success stories of other people that have been through the program. And you can also contact me through my website. It's veganhospitality.com. There's a contact form there. You can email me directly at meredith@veganhospitality.com. So there's a lot of ways to contact me, and I'm very accessible. I respond to everybody. And the whole reason I'm doing this program is to connect with people and to help people. So I'm really running it based on demand. The whole reason I started the program was because people reached out to me and essentially asked me to do this for them. So it's been a dream career shift, honestly, to be able to work for myself and also be able to connect with such wonderful, lovely, mindful people all over the world.
And what do you think the qualities of the people should be? I mean, who is this program for?
Yeah, so this is for somebody that is sort of looking for a career shift, whether it's they need like a part-time thing that they want to do, they're not fulfilled in their current work life and want to take their passion for plant-based eating or their passion for vegan lifestyle and express it in a way that's going to make them feel like they're really helping people. So a lot of people come to me because they just feel like they're spending so much time as a vegan activist, but they're not able to make money to support themselves. And this is a great way to make money while you're doing activism. And the people that come to me there is a profile of this person. And that's why I say such lovely people come to me, because these are people that are highly compassionate, people that want to dedicate their lives to service, to helping people, to helping their communities, to seeing a better future. And they just can't imagine living in any other way. They can't imagine doing any kind of thing with their day that doesn't feel meaningful. And so those are the kind of people that come to me, people that are willing to open themselves up to step out of their comfort zone. This is not an easy journey by any means. You're pioneering something new. You're doing something exciting, and you're a leader in this field. So this isn't something you can just sit behind a desk and hide. This is something where you're essentially a spokesperson for this new industry. And the people that come to me aren't necessarily there yet, but they're willing to put themselves a little bit at risk and step out of their comfort zone to try something new.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. If there is one advice you can give to people who are thinking of transitioning to whole food plant-based lifestyle or veganism, what would that advice be?
Wow, I can only choose one piece of advice.
Well, share it
there's
all.
so much advice. So, okay. I would say that do it because you want a better future, for whether it's for yourself or for the people around you, whether maybe you have children or you care about the planet. But I think that it's very hard to make a decision when you're not fully committed to it. And when we make quick decisions, whether it's for, we have to change for our health, or we have to change for a special diet, or we have to make like a quick decision, we do it for some time and then obstacles get in the way and we fall back into our old patterns. So for me, making that full commitment is it's really like a mindset shift. It's not seeing anything else as another option. So for me, at least, I'm vegan for all of the reasons: for the health, for the climate, for my daughter's future, and for the animals. And for me, making that 100% commitment meant that there was no going back, that there's no option to eat animals anymore, because I know how wrong it is and how it's not leading toward the future I want to create for myself, for my family, and for the world. So I would encourage you to make a commitment to yourself and go all in. And then if I may give another piece of advice, to find your community, find the people that support you in this decision. You want to be around people that are going to help you thrive in the way that you want to live. So setting boundaries with people that don't support you is going to be necessary, and moving towards the people and getting to know new people that do support you is going to be beneficial in your journey. And also have compassion for yourself. It is a journey. Like I said, it took me years to make that commitment, but I will tell you that the second I made that commitment to go all in, my life completely changed. And as you heard, not just my health changed, but my entire career trajectory changed. And I became much more able to help other people because I helped myself first, and I got that opportunity to help others as well.
Thank you so much. This has been a wonderful wellness shots with you. I really appreciate you found for your time and for your showing up here. I learned so much, and I can't wait to go check the website and check how the Aruba, and see how the Aruba is coming along with us.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much. And thanks to all our viewers who watched this live.
Thank you.